Hey, morning everyone. Morning where I am anyway. Another beautiful calm day out at the field here for another round of testing on my F18 version 3. I've got, today I'm testing out the RC Timer 2212/6 2200 kilovolt motor. I'm going to try and test it with 3 different props. I've got the 6x4 APC on right now. I just did a test on the watt meter and I was at 23 amps. 260 watts, so I'm running a 1600 battery. I'm going to try and keep the flights a little shorter so that the video doesn't get too long and boring. So here we go. So it seems to have a bit more punch than the Microjet version 3. Not as much as the focal price that I tested yesterday. Oops. Go vertical if you're going to go vertical. Yeah, vertical's pretty good. It's not, not kind of accelerating like I might have been with the focal price motor, but definitely better than I was getting with the Microjet version 3. Whew, that sun is bright. So we'll try and bring her by for a slow pass here. So that's at about 40% throttle. Good punch out. So bring it around here. Pop out the spoiler-ons. Okay, punch out of that. So good slow flying. Like I say, I think it's amps wise, it's 4 more amps more than I got on the Microjet version 3, which is what, I guess about a 20% increase. I'm not sure if I'm getting 20% more in performance, but definitely good all around cruising type speeds and stuff. Turns on a dime. Okay, so I think we can sufficiently say we've tested that setup. So let's land and I'll switch props. Try a little dead stick here. Okay, so that performed pretty decently. That'd be a decent cruising. Motor's a tiny bit warm. Oh yeah, a little bit warm on the speed controller. Battery's cool, so that's good. So anyway, so we'll just, if you bear with me here,
I'm going to shut it off now, swap out props, and try it with one of the EMP props. The reason I'm doing that is I read a review on RC Timer on this motor, and a person had said that they tested it and got 28 ounces of thrust on a 6x4, and we're getting 32 ounces of thrust on a 6x4 APC, and we're getting 32 ounces of thrust on a 6x3 EMP. So I'm going to test the 6x3 and the 6x4 EMP and see how we make out. So I'll be back with you in a bit.
So round 2 of today's testing, I've got, I just put the 6x3 EMP prop, and I just tested it on the watt meter on a fresh battery. It was just a hair over 21 amps, but 278 watts, so lower amps, more watts than with the 6x4, if I interpreted my numbers correctly anyway. So let's see how she flies. I don't know if there's a whole lot of difference that I can notice with my poor old eyes, but you know, speed wise, but so just like with the 6x4 APC, I think I could cruise comfortably at about 50% throttle. Yeah, I don't know that I think they're pretty much about the same. I think maybe because of the lower pitch, it spools up a little faster, like it responds to the throttle just a little faster. So that would be one improvement if that's something you're looking for. I mean, I think we all like to have a little more acceleration. So pretty reasonable high alpha there. Good rudder authority. Good punch out. So what I'm seeing so far out of this motor, compared to the 2 previous ones I've tested with this plane, it's about somewhere, I would say, in between the Microjet version 3 and the Focal Price 2700 motor. I think I read Gray from the RC Powers website. I read a really excellent write-up that he had done comparing the 2212 and 2826 6 motors, and he had mentioned that he felt the 2212, like I'm flying right now, was probably more efficient than the 2826. I've used the 2826 on several planes, and I plan on testing it on this one. But anyway, let's see how things are. Okay. So motor's about the same as it was with the 6x4 APC. Actually, strangely enough, the speed controller actually feels a little bit warmer. Maybe because I didn't cool down that much after the first flight. But anyway, so that's a pretty good setup. I'm not pushing the batteries to its fullest. I'll just take a reading and see how much voltage I have left, how much juice I have left, and then sort of wag it from there as to what my flight times would be on a 1600 battery. But so far, great little motor. So bear with me, and I'm going to swap out props again and try the 6x4 EMP and see how that goes. Be right back. Alright, so here we are, last part of today's test. Just swapped out, and I now have the 6x4 EMP prop. Interesting numbers off the watt meter, 25 amps and 300 watts. So I'm interested to see how this setup pushes this little baby around. So here we go. Definitely no problem in the vertical. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. I suppose if I it might be just a tiny bit snappier, I would say, with this prop. Just a little bit. So I think it spools up. It seems to spool up when you hammer the throttle. It spools up about as quickly as a 6x3 EMP, but you just get that extra little bit more with the little bit of pitch, I'm thinking. Yeah, it's a good combo, I think, for the best best amount of speed and power of the three props. I think this one's my favorite thus far. So good punch out of that horrible excuse for high alpha. This plane is just so easy to control, you know. All right. I think I've seen enough. Oh, what the hell, one more. Victory roll. Ah, better on the cool factor when you can land right in front of yourself, I guess. Okay, so motor might be a tiny bit hotter there than with all three of the props, but maybe that's also some residual from just running them back to back, and I've been pushing it pretty hard. Speed controller is about as warm as it's been with all three props. It's reasonably warm. Nothing to be afraid of or anything, but it's warm. Battery is cool. So I would say out of the three props, that one probably gave me just a tiny little bit extra that I like. A little bit of extra punch, a little bit of extra speed. You know, hard to tell with my old 51-year-old eyeballs, but anyway, I think that's a good setup. But really, when I look at all the three props and the testing that I did today, the nice thing about it is, you know, you can run all three of those different props on this motor, and your performance is going to be pretty decent and reasonably close together with the three props. But personal preference, E3 Scott's personal preference is the 6x4 EMP. So I'll check the battery, see how much juice I have left, and try and make an evaluation based on efficiency, flight endurance, and that sort of stuff. But anyway, thanks very much for watching.